West.
Fair trade is all about improving lives. But we don't do that through charity. There's no handout in the fair trade movement. They're working in a safer working condition, they're getting bonuses as a result of fair trade. Workers are able to sit at the table and address problems with management.
Workers are able to sit at the table and address problems with management.
So there's a level of confidence that you just don't see outside in other workplaces.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Lavender here, and today I'm back with another anti-capitalism video. Today I wanted to make a video about how the so-called Fair for Life, how the Fair for Life is a complete, utter, big fat lie, and why there's no such thing as ethical consumption under capitalism. A deep dive video into this, so let's get started into this video. Topics like climate change, pollution, sweatshop labor, aka human exploitation, aka wage slaves, and animal abuse and animal exploitation have become hot topics and issues around the world and around this earth. There are many protests against these injustices in the world, and this is where this ethical consumption, fair for life trend, green capitalism has come from. As a result, people began to advocate for what is called ethical consumption. By the way, all my sources are going to be in the description down below, so yeah. The idea of that if each of us as individuals choose to vote with our dollar, then due to the laws of supply and demand capitalism, in time we'll stop exploiting people, exploiting animals and the environment, and stop destroying the environment. There are now markets all over this world that market around goods that are sustainable, like sustainable products, whether that is fair trade, fair for life, organic, eco-friendly, Rainforest Alliance certified, and so on. Some even went so far as to refer to this new movement as compassionate capitalism. People have so-called gone green capitalism. This is part of green capitalism. And as we all know, green capitalism doesn't work because it puts profits over human lives, animal lives, the life of this earth. It's destroying the earth by pollution and climate change, leading to the climate change crisis. People have gone so-called green capitalism, whether that is shopping for these so-called ethical products, or being vegan, for example. The working class produces enough food for 2 worlds, but there are still millions of children and people who die every year of malnutrition every year. That's over 20,000 people a day. The so-called compassionate capitalists who swore to end hunger only donate 1.08% of their enormous profits towards alleviating poverty and hunger, and to no significant effect or change with this. 3 billion people live in poverty worldwide on this earth, while just 5 people own as much wealth as the 50% of the whole world's entire population. Human-caused climate change has reached catastrophic levels due to capitalism as a whole, with many scientists warning that we are nearing the point of no return. However, it is not individual consumers who are to blame, which is obvious. It's capitalism and corporations and capitalist pigs. Statistics show that the richest 10% are responsible for 59% of the world's private greenhouse gas emissions. Not only that, but the United States military is the biggest polluter.
US military bases on the Japanese island of Okinawa have long been a source of anger to locals, not only over crimes committed by troops, but because of significant environmental damage too.
This is the food.
And then these ones camouflage so much, it's really hard to find them. These ones are much easier.
The claims that the U.S. military is the biggest polluter, I definitely agree with that. They're the single most polluter in the world, and that's not something that it's up for agreement or disagreement. This can be measured, ranging from the pollutants from the CO2 contributions that the U.S. military puts out into the atmosphere, the amount of fuel that they use. The U.S. doesn't look into the environmental issues or acknowledge
On Earth. Well, the poorest 50% are responsible for only 10%. So blame the U.S. military, blame the capitalist pigs, it's their fucking fault. They're destroying the environment, it's them. Point the finger at them. So in effect, again, green capitalism isn't going to save us. Capitalism is the problem. How is ethical capitalism or compassionate capitalism going to fix the problem when capitalism is a psychopathic system that doesn't give a fuck about anyone's lives? It's bringing extinction across the world we live in. There has been numerous research done during a 2012 study at a university that found that there is no significant difference between the carbon footprint of those who consume ethically and those who do not. A study concluded that targeting consumer purchasing cannot counter the impact of pollution caused by major corporations or the U.S. military. They need to change. Stop U.S. imperialism. Ban capitalism. Death to capitalism. The study also showed that the working class people cannot afford a sustainable lifestyle due to poverty, wage theft, lack of accessibility, and long working hours, among other things. Many of these workers are unhappy about these circumstances, but find the system rigged against them, obviously, because capitalism, again, puts profits over human lives, and all the money goes to the 1%, while the 99% suffer. Ultimately, going green is more expensive but makes no real difference in the carbon footprint of consumers. Workers spend more, the working class ranks in all the profits basically, and global pollution rises as before because corporate and industrial pollution continues as before. Nothing has changed. Not only that, but again, fair trade or fair for life, the one that's fair for life is a lie, because if I'm correct, the CEO of a company within the system of capitalism makes more money than the actual people who put in hard work, such as the farmers or workers. Which is true, because when Donald Trump was literally elected, the farmers who voted for him were about to go bankrupt because of all Donald Trump's policies. You know, which is not fair because the workers do all the work while the capitalist pigs just sit in their asses, and just because they own a trademark they make all the money. Wage theft is the biggest theft in the world. Look it up. There are statistics on this. Individual-based solutions may make the consumer themselves feel better about living under capitalism, but they really do not address the main root issue and the main root problem. You know, the cause of animal and human exploitation and environmental destruction caused by capitalism itself. Not only will it never be possible for everyone to make environmentally friendly choices due to systemic economic and social inequality under capitalism, the desire to do so by many working class people has made it more into a commodity for the cow's pigs to profit from. These so-called ethical products are often more expensive than products created unethically, and the profits often go to the same major capitalist big corporations who are doing the majority of the polluting and destroying the earth as a whole. People want to blame the poor, working class. Consumers are to blame for the environmental destruction and exploitation. White vegans are very notorious for this, and they don't want to blame the capitalist pigs themselves. It is ridiculous to think while the workers who cannot afford more expensive fair trade items are voting for slave labor, environmental catastrophe, the climate change crisis, the wars over water, or the devastation of drinking water, while those who choose to buy ethically are voting for cleaner air, fair pay, and well-treated animals. This is not fucking true. Because, like, if the cow's pigs are exploiting you, and you don't have enough money for all these products, how are you voting for slave labor? You know who really is voting for the slave labor? The capitalist pigs. Stop blaming the victims of capitalism and start blaming the greedy capitalist pigs who are destroying the earth as we know it. As long as the majority of the wealth and resources are owned and controlled by the 1% capitalist pigs, aka Porky, producing for profit, aka what capitalism the system is, instead of human need, workers' rights and the environmental sustainability will always suffer because green capitalism does not work, and it never has and never will work. Green capitalism is a no-go. Capitalism will not save us. Capitalism is a crisis. The major flaw in ethical consumption is the illusion that there is a more ethical option underneath capitalism when there is not. Capitalism as a system as a whole is evil as fuck. The idea of ethical profit is an oxymoron, considering that all profit is the unpaid wages of the working class, and on top of that, wage theft is the biggest theft, privately appropriated and hoarded by the bourgeoisie. Ethical consumerism ends up dividing the working class instead of, bringing them together, by implying that those who purchase ethically are better than people, just like those white vegans that keep saying, well, I'm vegan, so I'm so much better than you, like that. It does not matter how many people turn to be more ethical options under capitalism, even if that's even veganism. The system of capitalism will never be ethical. Exploitation, oppression, and environmental destruction of this earth are inherent to a system based on private ownership of the means of production and production for profit, which is capitalism. Socialism, wants, the workers to own the means of production. And it also doesn't want to make the fucking capitalist pigs' wallets bigger. It wants to put the money back into the people who are working. So, to me, honestly, if you want to be, green, so-called green, you have to be red to be green. Because Marxist-Leninism, socialism is a gateway to communism, I think is the true answer to solving this problem. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye guys, see you next video.